There is a moment during special events in Milan when the city stops feeling like a city and begins to feel like a moving photograph. Not staged, not perfectly controlled, but charged. The streets become brighter. The sidewalks become slower. People pause outside cafes with the kind of awareness that only appears when everyone knows they might be observed. Cars move carefully through narrow streets. Cameras appear at corners. Sunglasses stay on longer than necessary. And suddenly fashion is no longer confined to showrooms, runways, boutiques, or private appointments. It spills into the city. Milan during special events is not simply a place where people wear clothes. It is a place where clothing becomes visible as behavior. The first thing you notice is not extravagance. That would be too easy. The first thing you notice is intention. The way someone steps out of a hotel wearing a cream blazer that falls just loosely enough to feel modern, but not so loose that it becomes careless. The way a woman crosses the street in wide black trousers, sharp sunglasses, a white shirt open at the collar, and a structured bag held without ceremony. The way a man in soft tailoring moves through a crowd without needing the outfit to announce him. That is Milan's real power. It makes style look practiced but not desperate. During special events, the city becomes a living runway, but the most stylish people are rarely the ones who seem to be performing the hardest. They are the ones who understand that attention is not the same as elegance. Attention can be taken. Elegance has to be held. And in Milan in 2026, what people are wearing says something very clear. Fashion is becoming more precise, more personal, and more disciplined. The loudest looks are still there, they always are. Sculptural jackets, metallic shoes, oversized sunglasses, bags shaped like objects rather than accessories, colors that cut through the street like punctuation. But what makes the strongest outfits work is not the drama itself. It is control. One dramatic element surrounded by calm, one sharp idea supported by restraint. A red leather jacket over an otherwise black look, a silver skirt with a plain white tank, an oversized blazer with simple flats, a sheer blouse balanced by tailored trousers, a sculptural handbag carried with the ease of something ordinary. The city rewards balance. Too much fashion and the person disappears. Too little intention and the look becomes invisible. The most stylish people in Milan live between those two failures. They choose enough to be remembered, but not so much that the clothes begin speaking over them. This is especially clear around event venues. Outside presentations, private previews, hotel entrances, gallery openings, and Fashion Week adjacent gatherings, people dress with a heightened awareness of the street as audience. But the best looks do not feel like costumes. They feel like extensions of people who understand exactly how much visual pressure they can carry. Some wear tailoring, but not the old kind. The tailoring of Milan special events in 2026 is softer, broader, more relaxed. Jackets have space, trousers move, shoulders are structured, but rarely severe. The silhouette is confident without being rigid. Men wear blazers over knit polos, open shirts, lightweight tees, sometimes even bare necklines. Women wear oversized jackets with long skirts, tailored waistcoats with fluid trousers, cropped blazers over simple dresses. Tailoring has become less about formality and more about architecture. It gives the body a frame. And in Milan, framing matters. You see it in the way people layer: a shirt under a blazer, a knit over the shoulders, a coat carried over the arm, a vest over a loose blouse, a scarf tied not perfectly but intentionally enough to change the entire rhythm of the outfit. These layers are not only practical, they create depth. They allow an outfit to feel lived rather than assembled. There is a strong presence of neutrals, but they are not boring neutrals. They are cinematic neutrals: cream, stone, charcoal, espresso, navy, ivory, olive, soft grey, faded black. Colors that respond beautifully to Milan's architecture. Against old walls, glass storefronts, marble hotel entrances, and warm evening light, these tones look expensive even when the clothes themselves are simple. But color appears too, not everywhere. That is why it works. A cobalt blue shoe, a burgundy bag, a green silk scarf, a yellow knit tied across the shoulders, a red lip against a white suit. Color is used like a signature, not a shout. It enters the outfit as a decision, not as decoration. This is one of the clearest signs of stylish dressing. Nothing feels random. Even the undone details feel chosen. A collar slightly open, sleeves pushed up, hair moving naturally, a bag carried low, sunglasses removed only halfway through a conversation, a blazer hanging from one shoulder, shoes slightly worn from walking. The imperfection gives the look life. Because perfect outfits often feel dead, they leave no room for the person. Milan street fashion during special events has become very good at avoiding that death. It allows movement. It allows texture. It allows the small human disruptions that make clothes interesting. A linen suit with natural creases looks better here than a synthetic suit that refuses to move. A leather bag with marks looks more convincing than one kept too pristine. A pair of loafers shaped by use carries more authority than shoes bought only for photographs. The best outfits seem to understand that clothing becomes meaningful through use, not display. Footwear tells the story clearly. You still see statement heels, sharp boots, and experimental shoes, especially around event entrances. But the dominant mood is more grounded. Loafers, ballet flats, slim sneakers, sandals, Mary Janes, suede shoes, soft boots, low heels. Shoes that allow a person to walk, not just arrive. This matters because Milan is a walking city during events. People move from showrooms to cafes, from hotels to galleries, from private appointments to street corners where photographers wait. A shoe that cannot move loses elegance quickly. The body reveals discomfort. The posture changes, the face tightens, the outfit becomes effort, and effort is visible. The truly stylish person knows how to avoid visible effort. That does not mean they did not think. It means the thinking happened earlier. The look is resolved before the street sees it. Once outside, they release it. They move, they talk, they sit, they cross streets, they live in the clothing. That release is what separates style from styling. Styling is arrangement, style is relationship. And during Milan's special events, the most compelling people are the ones whose clothes seem to have a relationship with their life, not just with the camera. Accessories are sharper this year. Sunglasses remain essential, but the strongest pairs are not always the largest or most dramatic. Black rectangular frames, slim oval shapes, brown lenses, subtle metal frames. They change the face without overwhelming it. They give distance. They add mystery. But they do not become the entire look. Bags are structured but less loud. Soft leather totes, compact shoulder bags, vintage-inspired handbags, slim crossbody bags, architectural clutches. The bag is still important, but among the most stylish people, it rarely feels desperate to be recognized. That is a broader shift. Recognition has lost some of its glamour. In its place is discernment. People still wear famous brands, of course. Milan is Milan. Luxury is everywhere. But the strongest looks are not built around proving the brand. They are built around proportion, texture, and composition. A recognizable bag may appear, but it is not the whole sentence. It is one word inside a larger language, and the larger language is becoming more personal. You see more vintage, more pieces that do not look newly purchased, more garments that seem to have history, a blazer that has softened, a belt that looks worn, sunglasses that feel from another decade, a bag that does not belong to the current season. These pieces give outfits depth because they interrupt the feeling of everything being bought at once. An outfit purchased all at once often feels flat. An outfit built over time has memory, and memory may be one of the strongest trends of 2026. Not nostalgia, memory. There is a difference. Nostalgia tries to recreate the past. Memory allows the past to live inside the present without becoming costume. That is what the best Milan looks are doing. They mix old and new without making either one the point. A vintage jacket with modern trousers, a new bag with old denim, a classic loafer with a sheer top, a traditional blazer with experimental sunglasses. The result feels layered, not only visually, but emotionally. This is why some of the best looks outside events are not the most expensive ones. They are the ones with the most convincing internal logic. Everything belongs together, because everything belongs to the person. That is rare, and when it happens, people notice, not always immediately. Sometimes the look reveals itself slowly. At first it seems simple, Then you notice the sleeve, the shoe, the way the bag color echoes the belt, the weight of the trouser, the length of the jacket, the confidence of leaving something unfinished. This slower attention is more powerful than immediate shock. Shock fades, precision remains. During special events, Milan also shows the tension between fashion as spectacle and fashion as life. There are people who dress purely for the photograph. Their outfits are designed to be understood in 1 second. Bright, graphic, exaggerated, obvious. These looks have energy. They can be fun, they create moments, they serve the camera. But the looks that stay in memory often do something else. They do not demand to be understood immediately. They invite a longer look. They trust the viewer. They understand that true style does not always reveal itself at first glance. A woman in a long black skirt, white sleeveless top, narrow sunglasses, and flat sandals may be more interesting than someone covered in dramatic pieces. A man in a tobacco suede jacket, cream trousers, and worn loafers may hold more presence than someone wearing a full runway look. A person in a grey suit with a simple white tank may feel more modern than someone dressed in every trend at once. Because style is not quantity, it is control. The city itself teaches this. Milan is not chaotic in the same way as some fashion capitals. It has intensity but also discipline. Its elegance is not soft in the romantic sense. It is designed, architectural, measured. Even when people dress boldly, there is often a structural logic underneath. This is why tailoring remains central. Even when people wear streetwear, the best versions are tailored in spirit. The proportions are considered. The shoulder, the length, the shoe, the way the garment sits on the body, these things matter. Milan does not forgive sloppy proportion easily. Wide trousers continue to dominate. They appear in wool, linen, cotton, denim, and fluid blends. On men, they are worn with loafers, sneakers, sandals, and soft jackets. On women, they appear with tanks, blazers, sheer tops, waistcoats, and cropped shirts. The wide leg gives movement and elegance. It creates air around the body. This is part of the larger move away from compression. Clothing is breathing again. After years of tight, hyper-controlled silhouettes, stylish people are choosing space. Not oversized chaos, but intelligent volume. Jackets with room, trousers with drape, shirts that float slightly, dresses that move, skirts that respond to walking. Volume, when controlled, creates presence. When uncontrolled, it becomes costume. The best Milan looks understand the difference. Sheer fabrics are also present, especially in evening-adjacent event dressing. But again, the strongest use is controlled. A sheer top under a blazer, a translucent skirt grounded by flats, a light organza layer over something simple. Sheerness becomes texture rather than exposure. It softens structure, it adds movement, it makes the outfit feel less heavy. This is part of a broader sensuality in fashion right now. Not obvious sensuality, not the kind built only around revealing the body. A more tactile sensuality, fabric against skin, lightweight layers, open collars, bare arms with structured trousers, soft knits on shoulders, sandals, linen, silk, suede. The clothes are becoming more physical. You can imagine how they feel. That matters because the strongest fashion is not only visual, it is sensory. A look becomes more convincing when you can sense comfort, weight, air, temperature, movement. Milan in May and during event season supports this beautifully because the weather allows clothing to be both structured and alive. The most stylish people use that advantage. They dress for the air, not just the photograph. Another visible trend is the return of the statement outer layer. Not heavy coats, but jackets that define the look. Cropped leather jackets, relaxed blazers, lightweight trenches, suede bombers, field jackets, short structured coats, overshirts. The outer layer creates identity quickly, especially in street photography, but the best versions are not overly loud. They shape the outfit without swallowing it. A jacket should make the person clearer, not smaller. This is the mistake many people make during events. They wear garments with more personality than they have. The clothing becomes larger than the wearer. The person becomes a hanger for an idea. You can feel the imbalance immediately. But when the person has enough presence to meet the clothing, Even dramatic pieces become natural. That is the real test. Can the person carry the look without disappearing? The best street fashion in Milan answers yes. You see it in older attendees especially. Their clothes may be simple or bold, but they often carry them with less anxiety. They are not checking if the look works. They know, or they do not care in a way that becomes its own kind of style. A woman with silver hair in a black suit and red sunglasses. A man in a linen jacket and soft scarf. A couple wearing neutrals with perfect ease. They remind the city that style improves when it stops begging for approval. Youth brings energy. Age brings authority. Milan needs both. During special events, both appear side by side, creating one of the most interesting visual contrasts in fashion. Young people experiment with proportion, color, and reference. Older people often demonstrate restraint, confidence, and deep personal vocabulary. The best looks from both groups share one thing: clarity. Clarity is what makes fashion legible without making it obvious. You know when a look is clear because nothing feels confused. Even if it is unusual, it has logic. Even if it is bold, it has balance. Even if it is simple, it has intention. This clarity is what people are really responding to when they say someone looks stylish. Not the price, not the brand, not the trend, the clarity. Street fashion during events often gets mistaken for chaos because there is so much to look at. But beneath the surface, the strongest looks are extremely edited. They may involve unusual pieces, but they are not random. The person knows what the outfit is about. One idea, maybe two, not 10. A black suit with bare skin and silver jewelry, a cream dress with red shoes, a navy blazer with wide denim and loafers, a sheer top with tailored trousers, a sculptural bag with an otherwise quiet look. The idea is visible because everything else gives it room. This is why minimalism still appears, but not in its coldest form. Milan minimalism in 2026 feels warmer, more textured, more human, less sterile black and white, more cream, brown, olive, faded navy, ivory, soft grey, less empty space, more tactile detail. Minimalism has absorbed life, it has wrinkles now, and that is a good thing. Fashion that refuses wrinkles often refuses reality. Reality is where style proves itself. A look has to survive the street, the sidewalk, the cafe chair, the wind, the heat, the movement between events, the unexpected conversation, the photograph taken from the wrong angle, the hour after the first impression. That is why real street style matters. It reveals what runway images cannot. It shows the garment under pressure, not extreme pressure, human pressure, and human pressure is enough. The shirt untucks slightly, the blazer opens, the trouser folds when sitting, the shoes crease, the bag shifts on the shoulder, the sunglasses move from face to hand, the outfit changes. If it becomes more interesting through these changes, it was strong. If it collapses, it was only an image. The best Milan outfits become better through motion. They are not frozen, they live. This is why video captures street fashion better than still photography in many cases. The walk matters. The gesture matters. The adjustment matters. The way someone carries a jacket over one arm matters. The way someone pauses before crossing the street matters. The way fabric reacts to air matters. Fashion is not only what is worn, it is how it moves. And during Milan special events, movement is constant. People arriving late, people leaving early, people standing outside venues, people pretending not to notice photographers, people actually not noticing photographers, people greeting each other, people waiting, people crossing between formal and informal spaces. The city becomes a choreography of intention. The clothes participate. Some outfits are built for entrance, others for lingering, others for being photographed, others for not needing to be. The most interesting ones usually occupy more than one category. They can enter a room, sit at lunch, walk across the city, and still make sense by evening. That versatility is not boring, it is sophisticated. A good outfit should survive changes in context. Milan understands context. This is why many looks are neither fully casual nor fully formal. They exist in the middle. Smart enough for events, relaxed enough for the street, elevated enough for a camera, comfortable enough for walking. This middle space is where modern style lives. The old divisions are breaking down. Suit versus casual, day versus evening, luxury versus practical, feminine versus masculine, formal versus relaxed. The stylish people are not choosing one side. They are combining codes with intelligence. A tailored jacket with relaxed denim, a silk skirt with flat sandals, a formal trouser with a tank top, a structured bag with an easy shirt, a blazer with sneakers, but clean ones, a dress with a leather jacket, a suit worn without the stiffness of a suit. This kind of mixing requires judgment. Without judgment, it becomes messy. With judgment, it becomes modern. And that is perhaps the word that best describes Milan event street fashion in 2026. Modern. Not futuristic. Not shocking. Modern in the sense of being adapted to how people actually live now. People want elegance, but not discomfort. Identity, but not costume. Quality, but not constant explanation. They want clothing that can move between spaces because life moves between spaces. Fashion is responding. The best looks are flexible. They hold contradiction, soft and sharp, old and new, practical and beautiful, relaxed and precise, expensive and ordinary, visible and quiet. This is what makes them feel alive. At the end of the day, when the event crowds thin and the light begins to change, the strongest outfits remain strong. The loudest may fade. The most performative may feel tired. But the coherent looks continue. They still make sense walking away from the venue. They still make sense in a cafe. They still make sense in the reflection of a hotel window. They still make sense when no one is watching. That is the real test, not whether an outfit captures attention at the entrance, whether it still belongs to the person after the attention is gone. The most stylish people in Milan during special events understand this, whether consciously or instinctively. They dress for the room, but not only for the room. They dress for movement, for weather, for architecture, for themselves, for the strange space between being seen and remaining private. And that balance is what makes Milan street fashion so compelling. It is public, but controlled, expressive but edited, fashionable but rarely desperate. The city gives people a stage, but the best dressed never look like they are begging to be on it. They simply arrive. They move through the light. They let the clothes do enough, and then they let themselves do the rest. That is what stylish people are wearing in Milan in 2026. Not just blazers, not just wide trousers, not just sunglasses, bags, loafers, skirts, leather, linen, silk or tailoring. They are wearing judgment. They are wearing restraint. They are wearing the confidence to let one idea breathe. They are wearing clothes that belong to the street, to the event, to the moment, and most importantly, to themselves. And maybe that is why when they pass, people look twice, not because the outfit shouted, but because it stayed.